Today we're going to be talking about how much my SR20 swap costs on my 240SX. A little bit about my car. Got a 1995 S14. Originally had a dual cam KA. Did SR swap about a couple months ago. So yeah, we'll start with like average prices on the market. On average from importers, about $3,200. The benefit of importers when you buy from a shop is that you get the engine, you get the tranny, you get the harness, you get the ECU most of the time. There's no missing parts. You don't have to source like little small parts that are hard to find. They have very low mileage, and some importers are really reputable. They let you check the engine for like any damage or problems before you buy it. They are quite expensive, and if you can't pick up in a pickup truck, shipping does cost like what, $600 for the motor, because it has to come freight and all that good stuff. Stock motors are gonna run you an average of $2,500 from a private seller. I think that's the best route you can go. If you can buy a stock SR, that's your best bet, with no problems, no issues, because when they start building them, they get issues. So my recommendation, if you're going to SR swap, buy from a shop because that's a stock motor, or buy from a private seller that has a stock motor, which will be less. They might be missing a couple parts here and there, like I know I had to buy an alternator tensioner bracket for mine and a couple other supporting accessories for the engine just to get it running and stuff. Now that we talked a lot about how much they kind of go for, we're going to talk about my swap, how much my swap costs and everything. At HD Works, Peter had an SR20, S13 black type SR20. I paid $2,500 for like $2,500 flat for everything. I paid what, like $60. I bought a bunch of cheap gaskets, which right there I got a new turbo manifold. I'm redoing the whole exhaust side soon, so I didn't worry about it. I went with the Comp Stage 4 clutch and then ultralight flywheel from Comp. Pretty expensive setup, but it was worth it. $910 for a Stage 4 clutch and a lightweight flywheel from Comp. Make sure you replace the clutch, because I started with the same clutch that came with the motor and it wore out so fast, and I would have been like way better off just replacing the clutch from the get-go. In total, I paid $110 for all the replacement bolts. So like training bolts, pressure plate bolts, and flywheel bolts, $110 in total. A radiator, I bought mine used off a guy that works on Centras, which also have an SR in it. I bought a coil radiator with ISR dual electric fans for $200, crazy deal. The intercooler kit from ISR for me was $510 in total, but that kit is so perfect. I got my whiteboard. We're gonna do a little add up on what my SR swap cost me, and then we're gonna do an add up on like the cheapest you can do an SR swap for you budget guys. All right, so my swap cost me $2,500. So that was my swap. That was tranny, harness, ECU, like pretty much a lot of stuff. $70 for my exhaust gaskets, and $410 for my flywheel from Comp, and then $500 for my Stage 4 clutch, $110 for all the bolts, transmissions wise. Redline MT90 gear oil, $62. Used radiator coil rad with the ISR dual electric fans, that was $200. I bought that used. So $70 in total for rad hoses and the igniter chip, which you need. $510 for the intercooler kit and the intercooler, which is the piping and intercooler. That's it right there. That's all the costs for the SR swap. So let's add it up and let's see what we get. Swap costs $2,500. To have it running in the car good, it costs $4,000. I'm gonna round that. I'm gonna do like a price comparison budget wise if you want to do a budget SR swap, because you can do that and you can do it really cheap. So say like $30 for hoses, right? Because like say some are already damaged, $30 to replace damaged hoses, $70. So $70 for gaskets to replace them. So $50 to resurface the flywheel. And say you buy a clutch for say $400. Let's say $50 for the custom hoses to reuse that KA radiator you have. $150 for a clutch fan and a shroud, perfect cooling, nothing to worry about. $300 for a used intercooler kit. That's a crazy good price to use on Facebook Marketplace or some other website. Walbro, $255, $100. My swap costed $4,400. If you do a budget swap, it's gonna cost roughly $3,700 on a budget SR swap for a running driving SR. That's crazy good. That's crazy good. So yeah, that's about the cost for an SR swap on a 240. If you don't SR swap your car, you're whack. Nah, don't listen. Yo, hey, Xavier Wolf's tripping, bro. Don't listen to him. Anyways, make sure you SR swap your 240s, guys.